It took a while, but we
it
started.
Liam
Liam,
with all of our help. All of us did that. Joseph,
Ronnie,
What up, guys?
what up?
how you be?
How's it going?
Good,
Pretty good,
good.
pretty
How are you
good.
guys?
Good. It's your first
We're
time
moving.
on the pod on the Paradizo Boiz. We brought you on and made you sit through a movie.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you didn't make me
our-
sit through a movie. It was,
Well, yeah, I didn't tie you down and force you to, but
I mean, I would have still liked that.
yeah, all right. All right, I'll take it. Would you like to say the name of the movie?
Well, we saw what was it? The Billionaire Boys
The
Club?
Billionaire Boys Club.
Billionaire Boys Club?
It's a 2018, directed by James Cox. I don't know what else he's made since this movie came out. I don't want to say anything against him,
I
but
mean, there was at least one big name actor in there.
there was a few big name actors.
Oh,
and
yeah,
we'll get to
no, yeah.
some of them.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. What were you guys' opening thoughts on the film?
I liked it because like I had like a somewhat of an idea of like what happened because like growing up, my friend was always like he always had an air freshener that had a Billionaire's Boy Club on
Okay.
it. So like I knew the brand
Yeah.
and everything, but like I didn't know the full story behind everything.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay, Liam, were you?
I mean, I was good for it. I sat on down. I wasn't really expecting it to be the way that it was fully, but it did give. I will say, the main actor, what's his name?
There's two. There's Taron Egerton and the kid from Baby Driver.
Yeah, Baby Driver kid.
I don't remember his name. I should.
But that kid,
Yeah.
kid. All of his movies
Ansel
kind of have a
Elgort.
similar. Was it?
Ansel Elgort.
Okay,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
Ansel.
Yeah.
Ansel. I'll just say
Ansel.
Okay. Ansel. All of Ansel's movies,
Yeah.
like any movies that he's in, kind of have a similar just feel to it, just
Yeah.
because of him, right? Or like different actors, like for example, the one super rich guy that they were kind of getting money from
Yeah.
in the beginning, right? Like he's been in other movies, right?
Yeah.
But he can switch up the feel.
He was
the
also
movies.
in Baby Driver.
Was he?
Yeah.
Damn. All right. All
was,
right. They really paired up.
Yeah. So, a bit of background on this movie because I know you guys are so into movie history.
We are.
So this movie, I believe to this day, it's the lowest opening box office for a movie. I think it was like $147 or something like that they made on the first weekend.
Oh my God.
What is that like?
Why?
20 tickets?
Yeah, I mean,
Why?
4 tickets.
horrible.
Yeah. So this movie, it got caught up in a bit of a scandal because, as you were alluding to, it stars Mr. Kevin Spacey. He got caught up in some trouble around the time this film was premiering.
Let's ring the bell.
And by the time it was coming out, there wasn't a lot of marketing behind this movie, but also just no one wanted to see it because of Kevin Spacey.
Damn.
So movie got fucked and then
Damn.
just went straight to video on demand.
Damn. So
Yeah.
what was the thing about Kevin Spacey? What was his deal? Is he like canceled now? Like
Yeah, he was like
I forget what happened because this
He
was like
was
2017 or something.
he
right?
was like predatoring on little boys.
oh
Yeah.
shit!
Yeah,
Rest in
that will-
peace.
that will
That'll do
cancel
it.
you.
Yeah, that'll do it.
That's a
Yeah.
good one.
There's a
That'll
line,
do it.
and I think that one crosses it.
That one's pretty far into the line. Is it like touching little boys? Yeah. So
Yeah, I don't think there are that many people who would be like, I think this cancel culture nowadays,
Yeah.
like touching little boys isn't accepted.
Yeah. But yeah,
no one's gonna say that.
and the grand irony is that the Kevin Spacey character in this movie does kind of seem like the guy who would be touching little boys.
Oh,
He's
no.
playing himself in this movie.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, that's why they casted him. They're like, you know what? This
He's
is your
perfect
role.
for it. Yeah. He's
No,
built
no.
for it. Are you a fan of Spacey?
I mean, like, so here's the thing. Like, I never really watched that many movies. Like,
Okay.
I was always like, the only time I would watch like any movies is like I walked in and my mom was watching a movie and like I caught it halfway through. I'm like, oh, this is good. I'm never gonna go back and watch the
Okay.
beginning of it.
Yeah.
Hey, there you go.
Wow. I guess you were the wrong guest to have on this podcast. Then.
But no, I mean, like,
No,
I
no.
do like movies
Yeah,
to
no.
an extent, but it's just like, for me, I've always been like a YouTube person.
I got you. Yeah.
Kind of the shorter video type things. Well, what about TV shows, right? Because those are like shorter format, but
Well, for me, like, I'm always about like finding useless information.
Makes sense.
Like, for me, like, I like watching videos about like how to park a 1,000-foot boat or like how
That's a
to
good question. I
how
always
to
wondered
feed
that.
like
I don't know how to park a
250,000
1,000-foot boat. I don't
people
know.
at one time and everything.
Those are things I've always wondered. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's good that the information's out there.
Yeah, Yeah, no, and like I don't know. I'm just one of those people. I like conspiracy theories and everything.
Wait,
So,
okay.
like, and that's
do you
kinda-
like conspiracy theories, or do you?
You're just
like
into them?
Conspiracy theories, what's the level in which you've invested into them?
It's how well they can sell me.
Gotcha.
Like if it's something where I'm like, you know what, this is too credible of evidence. I'm like, I kind of see their point. I'm like, I'll dig in as much as I can till like I'm like scraping the bottom of YouTube and like I'm like, there's nothing else.
Scraping the bottom of Reddit.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Were there any conspiracy theories in this movie here? I mean, I know.
There is some conspiracies involving characters in this movie, but we'll get to that later.
Okay.
So Ronnie, if you're unaware, this series we're doing on like American crime true stories, not like horror story, but like get rich quick scheme movies.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we chose this film. But do you guys? I don't know. Do you guys want to go through the plot? Do you guys, either of you guys really have a good grasp on the plot? Do you want me to explain it?
I feel like we can all chip in. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Joseph, why don't you start it
Okay,
off?
so the film
where
stars Ansel Elgort as Joe Hunt and Taron Egerton as Dean Keary or Kenny or something like that.
Yeah.
And they're a couple of best buds, and they're living in L.A. They
went to high school together.
They went to high school
Yeah,
together.
they graduated together.
They start this financial firm, but they're kind of they're, I guess what they do is they tell people we're going to invest your money in gold, and we promise we're going to give you back 50% within a week. They
crazy.
don't do that, but they still tell them like you're making this much money, and then they get people to invest more money.
Exactly.
It's crazy. The thing that's crazy about it is that, like, because this was all like relatively based off of like true stories and everything, and this still goes on today.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's amazing how like the concept of like this whole movie, there's still so many people that use
How
this
well
in
it
real
can work.
life.
Definitely, yeah. They probably watched this movie and they're like, "Yeah, I should give that a try."
Honestly, that's what I thought.
They did in that movie.
I was like, this is like, I'm like, you know what? I'm gotta find a way. I'm like, it can't be gold because the FBI will be on me
That'd be
way
too
obvious.
obvious. You got to do crypto. That's the new thing.
Exactly.
That's what all these
No,
kids are
no
doing
doubt.
nowadays. Is they're
Dogecoin.
big in the doges.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Wait, I was confused. When is this supposed to take place? This movie.
So this takes place in the early 80s.
Yeah, I think it was, if I remember right, it was like right around like 80 to 84.
Yeah, I think right around then. So this film is actually a remake. There was a made-for-TV film of the same name, which stars Judd Nelson, who plays the father of Joe Hunt in this film. So it's kind of they're tying it together.
Oh yeah.
I didn't watch the original one, and I assume neither of you did.
No.
Nobody wants to fucking watch a made-for-TV movie.
No. We watched the Kevin Spacey version.
We watched the Kevin Spacey cut.
Exactly. Or we're probably 3 of maybe 1,000 people who watched the
Probably,
Kevin Spacey cut.
Yeah, no, honestly, with all the backlash of it, like if you take that away, it was still a good movie. Like I think it
Are
had
we allowed
strong
to say
points.
that it's a good movie? Because I
don't worry about fucking Kevin Spacey. He's not coming for us.
kind of like the movie. Yeah. It was,
and you got to remember, there was other people who put their hard sweat and tears into it.
Yeah, I do kind of feel for the director because like his movies completely got canned because people wanted to cancel Kevin Spacey and I looked on his Wikipedia and I didn't see anything like I recognized that came out lately. So
I got you.
Kind of sucks for him.
Nothing else really big name. It was kind of. That was kind of his one shot.
I mean, the rest of the cast, they're all doing pretty well.
Oh yeah.
Do you know how like upsetting it would be to be a director and like your big break, like
Yeah.
for the like couple people who actually saw it, they're like, "Oh, it's a pretty good movie," but because of like who you had in it, your
Yeah.
career's just over because it got tanked that bad.
I'd be pretty fucking mad at Kevin
Yeah.
Spacey. Yeah.
Oh,
both for messing around with little boys and the whole movie messing up business.
Yeah. Just like at Kevin Spacey's trial, the director is just sitting in the jury. He's like, "You fucked my movie."
There you go.
There's like some kid describing like how Kevin Spacey ruined his life, and this guy's just like, "You ruined my movie."
He tore it apart bit by bit.
All you hear is him in the back, relatable.
Yeah, poor guy. Yeah, so they're scamming all these people. They're getting all this money from these rich people. They're spending it on mansions and BMWs and clothes
No doubt.
and
the big cars and the
dinners
drugs
and strippers and drugs. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But then they find out Kevin Spacey was playing them the whole time.
Exactly. That's where I got a little bit confused, right?
Yeah.
Because then Kevin Spacey was like, "Oh, wait, hold up a second. No, I really played this other guy, not you." Like, and then he was like,
Yeah.
And then what's his name wasn't even. Okay, I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself, right?
Okay.
So what was the main
Joe.
actor's guy? Joe, yeah, Joe Hunt. He hired a bodyguard, right?
Yep.
And him and this bodyguard just wanted to go and scare the shit out of Kevin Spacey, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and get the money, and so they can pay off the investors. But as we know, the bodyguard, heard what Kevin Spacey was saying, and then he was like, no, I got to draw a line somewhere, and pull the trigger.
Yep.
See,
Killed him. That was
honestly,
it.
like at
All
that
downhill.
moment when I was watching the scene, I was like, that was the only way it could have played out. Like, because when he's like, "Oh, this isn't the first time I've been tied up to a chair with a gun to my head," I'm like, so he's not scared. So like, there's only one way to show fear, and you can't just shoot the guy in the foot because he's just gonna tell.
Yeah. So yeah,
That's where it all went downhill for him.
so this is sort of where the conspiracy theory comes in, because Joe Hunt to this day attests that Kevin Spacey's character is still alive and is in hiding.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a different story.
Okay.
Yeah.
According to Joe Hunt.
So he alleged, all this is alleged, that they went there to scare him, and then Kevin Spacey disappears after that. He travels to Europe, I think, and I think people had come out afterwards and said, no, we saw him, like he couldn't have been dead. But this was like 40, almost like 50 years ago, and like he still hasn't come up, but he's still alleging like, no, he's still alive. And
gotcha.
the bodyguard also came out and said, I was the one who pulled the trigger.
Gotcha.
And so
That's where they.
yeah, but also I think the bodyguard had cut a deal with the police, so he got less of a sentence than Joe did.
So he could have just been.
So he could have just been like talking shit or trying to, whatever.
Joe got really fucked in this whole situation.
Yeah.
A little bit. And then again, it did also look pretty premeditated with that one paper that they wrote in the office all together,
Yeah.
right? They were like, kill dog, dig pit,
Yeah.
etc.
So yeah, it was sort of, and so the movie sort of makes it seem like Dean was, that's his name, Dean.
Yeah, Dean.
He was sort of the mastermind to it, and he was sort of goading Joe on to do all this like fucked up shit, and that sort of like at the end you sort of feel like Joe has some sympathy, and like he seems like he didn't want what happened to happen.
And then they made Dean seem kind of the opposite. Right?
Yeah.
Like where they made him go down the dark path. And
But
kind of
I watched
forsake
like a
his friend.
short like documentary about it, and apparently Joe was like he was the one who was, I mean, alleged. All this is alleged, of course.
exactly.
I didn't do any real research, but Joe was the one who was like pushing into everything, and he was like the real force behind everything. So
Okay.
I mean, like I could totally see that because like it's still being a movie and everything.
Yeah.
They want that plot line and that like sort of sympathy that you get because like even like when like in the movie like the beginning how his dad came in and when he first found out like Joe was doing all this and he's like you don't want to get in over your head with these people,
Right.
And then like as the movie like at the end he's like, oh, I got in over my head, now I'm fucked
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
And like the way they had it where everything is kind of turned on to Joe, it just gives you that sympathy. But like in reality, that might not even be the case because like that could just be Hollywood playing the role and making you want
Yeah.
to be more invested into this
Definitely.
movie.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it definitely went all over the place a little bit, but I guess we'll never know. Wait,
yeah, I mean,
have you two seen like the actual people? Like, I mean, not in real life, but like interviews
pictures?
or anything?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
pictures? Yeah. Out of the two of them, right? Who seems like the ringleader? Who just feels like it, like the real life people?
I feel like Joe.
Joe.
Maybe it's just because the way the documentary made it and how documentaries always do the picture of someone, but they like make the eyes look weird and they sort of tilt the picture to make it look like
Yeah,
he was actually an evil guy.
It's all
so
sketchy.
yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just the the
Maybe it's just the
perception,
editing.
but yeah, I don't know.
Think Joe. Okay.
Probably.
Yeah, no, honestly, I think it probably was Joe. Just because, like, even, like, just, like, the little things that I saw and everything, it was, like, the way, like, no matter what you put it, you get put into a position where you're making easy money.
Yeah.
You're not having to really do any work. All you're doing is just taking a minus and making another line to make it a plus.
Yeah.
And it's just, like, he probably just got too greedy with it. Like once you start like, cause like how in the movie like they were living in a small like 2-bedroom apartment, and then next thing you know you're living in a mansion. It's probably hard for anyone to turn that away.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
they were all young as shit, right?
They were all around our age.
Yeah.
You're our age, like 24.
I'm 24 right
Okay,
now.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So they're all, young boys. And he even says later in the movie, like sort of closer towards the end, like, we just got to give everyone their money back and go to the police, which I doubt that's what happened in real life. I doubt he would want to go to the police after all that happened.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
He's probably still trying to find some way out of it. Whether leave the country or whatnot. But
so closer to the end of the movie, there's another death that takes place. They befriend, I think he was Persian. He was like some Persian kid.
Prince.
Yeah. And they accidentally kill his dad.
his father, yeah.
They so that all actually happened. He was high on opium. They put him in a box, and then he attacks Dean, and they choke him out and kill him.
I feel like it's kind of hard to like choke someone out and kill them, like unintentionally.
You never tried it,
right? This is true.
Yeah, no.
Ronnie, we brought you here for a reason.
Fine, I'll be the test subject.
Oh, God damn, we
Might
don't
as
have to
well.
go that far. Right?
Drove all this
Yeah.
way. It's a nice thing to do. No, but one of you were going to say something, and then I cut you off.
No, honestly, like, I feel like the way he did it with the belt, it would be a lot easier than like if you were doing with your arms. Because like the thing is, like you wouldn't probably even
Wouldn't feel it
notice
as much.
until that like the whole body just like goes like heavy.
Yeah.
See, we're all imagining some really dark shit right now in our head.
That's what these fucking movies do. They break you as a person. They make you lose trust in the American
They make you start thinking
dream.
about the logistics of choking people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Goddamn.
Definitely it'd be easier to shoot Kevin Spacey in the face than to choke out someone.
Probably. I don't know. I do you think that there's any angle in which they could have meant to kill the Persian prince's father? Like, why would they have meant?
Well, they
to kill
wanted to because they wanted his diamonds.
Yeah, no.
So
there
did
was
they
no
have to
reason.
kill him in order to do
Oh
that?
yeah, there's no way you're just gonna be like, hey man, hand me over these $12 million in diamonds, and he's gonna be like, oh yeah, no problem.
So yeah, what was the deal with trying to get him in the trunk just reasonably, right? Because they were just trying to get him just to go in the trunk.
Well, part of it was because like how in the movie they said like he was like he had all these friends in LA, but like he was still a fugitive to like the American society. So like they had to make sure like find a way to get him from San Francisco back to LA without like the FBI knowing, and that's why they put him in the trunk, was so that this guy just pops up in LA.
Okay, gotcha. All right, that makes sense. That makes some more sense.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, the kid was completely cool with them killing his dad too.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah.
I was kind of surprised by that. I was like, damn. All right.
Well, I mean, when you're the next in line for all that money, like because like the $12 million
Apparently hated
in
his
diamonds
dad.
was probably just like one fraction of what he really owned.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, and they'd get the diamonds, but he'd get everything else,
Yeah.
and he'd get to join the club. That was like a big part of the movie. Is like it's like a cult where it's like Joe is this charismatic guy, and all these young rich boys, they want to step out of their parents' shadow. They're like, we're gonna help this Joe
do it on our
guy,
own. Yeah.
give him all our parents' money, and then he's gonna make us rich.
There you go. There you go.
So yeah, it is. It's a real testament of what you could do if you could you got a smart mouth.
No doubt.
Yeah, to stay
No doubt.
confident in every
Exactly.
situation.
Yeah, you can get
yeah.
millions of dollars, but not actually.
But they fucked it up.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Well, I mean, eventually, you kind of knew everyone was going to turn on
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, in all these movies, they always get you rooting for them.
Yeah.
You want them to pull it off. You want them to get
Well,
away with
I
the
think
money. At
that's
least me. But the thing is, and then in the end, you realize like, okay, yeah, they're kind of being shitheads. Like maybe they.
I think that's another reason they. So at the end, Dean gives a testimony that Joe was the one who was behind all of it, and then he gets a reduced sentence. I think that's another reason they sort of added that, is because they wanted to show Dean was also manipulative, and maybe it just made for a better film if he was secretly, kind of the douchey one.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Well, I mean, in all reality, you kind of saw it coming, though. Because,
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
I honestly, at that point, I blame Joe himself because, like, his girlfriend told him about the story about
It's always
this.
the girl in the movies.
Yeah. She told him about the story about how the cabin at the summer camp got lit on fire, and it was because of Dean and not her brother. But because her brother got kicked away, and like he found a way to lie.
Oh, that's a good. I didn't realize that it is like the same story.
Yeah. So I kind of blame Joe on that part for just being like too uncharismatic and not realizing like, hey, this guy has the possibility of screwing me over.
Yeah.
Like, you should always be prepared for something like that.
Yeah. I definitely see that too. Emma Roberts, the girlfriend. Are you guys fans of Emma Roberts?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What other movies is she in? Like, what are big name movies?
Other movies. She was in Where the Millers.
Oh,
yeah. That was a great movie.
Yeah.
Definitely. She was the daughter in that movie.
Yeah.
Right? She was, You got it. The only scene I remember from that is when you get bit in the testicles by the
that's right.
spider.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it's a conversation we had before the podcast.
Yeah.
Spiders. No.
Em hates them spiders.
No, they stick around in my mind. But yeah, no. Joe Hunt and Dean. I mean, they did kind of spin that way from the beginning, with Dean being like the ringleader.
Yeah, he was the one who roped Joe into
Yeah.
the situation with these other billionaire sons, and then but Joe was the force behind the Billionaire Boys Club.
Exactly.
But even like in the very beginning, like when Dean and Joe like first re-met when they were at that restaurant.
Yeah.
Like how like he comes to Joe and he's like, hey, I got this whole investment from this car I just sold and everything. We'll just give him his money back. And then like when they're like going on and trying to sell him everything, and they're like, oh yeah, I already gave him his money, don't worry about it. Like that should have been like one thing, like, oh, he's already lying to Joe from the very beginning.
Yep, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I know.
The Spacey character, he was an interesting character because so they knew he was a scumbag and that he had done something in the past that he was investigated.
But they were okay with it.
They couldn't see that he was conning them. But he was friends with Andy Warhol, and he like had all these like influential friends.
So was he actually, or was that just more bullshit from him?
No, that was Andy Warhol in the movie.
Okay,
Yeah.
Damn.
Not the real Andy Warhol.
But yeah.
They couldn't get him.
The Andy Warhol.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They couldn't get Andy Warhol. He's too busy being dead.
Alas. That's next time.
Well,
Yeah,
let's go get our shovel.
Well, maybe for the sequel, we'll get Andy Warhol.
There we go. Kevin Spacey and Andy Warhol together.
Oh man,
That's the movie. That's the movie that people want.
they got to go. There's a movie that came out around the same time called All the Money in the World, I believe, and that movie also starred Kevin Spacey, and it cost him like some crazy $1 million to reshoot all his scenes with a different actor.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yikes. Oh, but they did it. They
They did
They
it.
reshot
And it's actually a pretty good movie.
Hey.
Yeah.
There you go. What was it called?
All the Money in the World.
All the Money in the World.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Check it out.
I don't know about you guys, but how fun did that party at that club look like in the very beginning?
Yeah, they were all just. It was at a Halloween party. Emma Roberts walking around with her tits out. And,
Yep,
you know.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Those are those LA
Those go-to
80s
moments.
parties. Yeah.
Honestly, dude, I would sell people fake trust just to be a part of those parties.
Yeah,
too.
honestly, dude.
Hey.
Like honestly, like like they got the money like illegally, but like all the ideas of like going to Germany, buying all these exotic cars that you couldn't get in America, and selling them for like way more. Like if they had the money in the beginning, like power to you. Like
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's not like a scam, but that is like a good sort of source of income if you can afford or figure out the logistics of getting like luxury cars and then renting them out for more. I know that's what a lot of people do in Miami is they'll like ship in a Lambo and they'll be like, you know, $10,000 a week and you can get this Lambo so you can drive around in.
Definitely. My the guy who used to cut my hair, he used to do that a good bit apparently. Yeah. But who knows how much money he was actually making because he was cutting hair and he didn't really like it all that much. So who knows?
And like the thing is, like especially if you're doing that, like renting it, like I would sell the car, I wouldn't rent it out because like like there's always gonna be some like rich kid who just comes in there and absolutely just beats that car to death.
Well, that's why you got to get insured on it.
Very
Yeah,
true.
you got to have them pay like
That renter's insurance.
pay a damage fee. It could be good money in it, but just the problem with that is that every time there's a new car, you have to get the new car. You know, because
Fair enough.
if you're renting out, this has nothing to do with the movie now. But
We're creating our own
yeah,
right now. Where
if you buy a 2023 like Maserati or something to rent out, and then in 2025 nobody's going to want to rent that unless So it could be a good source of passive income, but
that's a good question, right? Like most people will want to rent out like the newer Maserati, right?
Yeah.
The thing is, what if you have like the less rich people who just also want a Maserati?
yeah, I mean, I guess people who
I wonder how popular that is.
Yeah, you could probably cut the
new
price
new.
down a little bit, and some people might still want to do it, but
I mean, yeah, but probably the demand of it would be like way less.
Yeah,
where you'd probably be eating yourself more than making actual money off of it.
Who knows? Yeah.
who knows? Let's start a car company, and we'll figure
We'll
this
find
all
out.
out. Yeah.
We'll find out for ourselves.
So if you want to invest into our car company,
Yeah.
listen.
We will make
if
sure you
invest
get-
now. Well, you'll get 50% back in returns.
it'll be a little more than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Tier
Exactly,
1 of our
exactly.
Patreon, $10,000. Tier 2, buy the car for us.
Easy.
Tier 3,
listen.
buy the car. You'll get a Polaroid picture with us in the car.
That's a
you go.
good get. I'd put my money towards that, if you know what I mean.
There you go. Listen, the group leading this, none of us here are older than 30, and that should scare the shit out of you. Quote.
I mean, yeah, that's what these guys in the movie do.
It is. Wasn't that a line from the movie where they
I
said
think so,
that,
yeah.
Like we're all under the age of 30? And
They
that should
were
scare the
bidding
shit
on
out
an
of you.
oil company, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. I think
Oh
you're
yeah,
right.
when they were making the things and like all the investors were like, why should we invest into you guys? And they're like, well, we're not even close to being anywhere your age. And we're already making the same amount of money as you.
And
Yeah.
everybody kind of jumped in.
But no, honestly though, like, that movie is like a point of there's no like real easy way to get quick money.
Yeah.
Unless it's stripping.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Like that's the only other way. Like
That's the only
that.
way.
Like legally, you can make good money
Yeah.
and be satisfied.
That's what they tell me.
Oh, don't. I've also considered like just looking at the stock market and like just like putting my finger down on a random thing to invest in, and just go from there. I wonder how likely that would be to succeed.
Let me know how you do it.
All right, we'll do. I'll do some massive investments at like $5 per, and we'll be good.
I mean, like another takeaway I got from it was it kind of reminded me of like invest on yourself instead of someone's dream, because you don't know that someone's dream could be just their dream to make sure that they're getting their money from you, and that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Definitely.
That's a good takeaway, Ronnie. That's
It's a good lesson.
I don't know, close to 30 minutes. Do you guys have any final thoughts on the
should.
movie?
Damn.
I thought, honestly, if you've never seen that movie, it's a great movie to watch.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those things you can learn a lot of valuable lessons.
Yeah.
You either,
Money
no matter
lessons.
what path you choose, there's going to be a valuable lesson.
There's always going to be another Billionaire Boys Club.
Exactly.
And you know what? I'd rather get in early and invest early, get out early, and then just walk away.
Hey, what
That's
are
the
they
right
saying
attitude
that?
to
The
have.
early investors get the money, the rest get the shaft. That's the way it goes.
Do they say that?
They said something like that.
All right.
But like, could you imagine this being those children? Like how in the movie, like that one guy invested into like his 2 kids' college
Yeah,
funds and
that was kind of
everything.
fucked.
And like, just like when you find out like all that money's just gone and have to tell your kids, well, you're not going to college anymore.
That sucks. Yeah.
I'd say that's more heinous than killing Kevin Spacey.
So, God damn. You know what?
Liam, final thoughts?
Final thoughts. If we learned nothing else from this movie, we at least learned that Kevin Spacey is a child molester, maybe, and
It's a good thing to
that
know.
he's been canceled.
Yeah.
But other than that, the movie itself, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I would give it a watch, same as you.
Yeah.
I didn't really see any complaints with it. It was an entertaining one. And you should give it a go, even if you hate Kevin Spacey and all this.
Just close your eyes every time he's on the TV.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's gonna be like you're gonna miss like
Yeah,
half the movie. Then.
I don't know. Ronnie, do you have anything you wanna tell the people?
I mean, other than invest on yourself, make sure that it all goes down to how you write the pen. If you want to put a plus, put a plus. If you want to put a minus, put a minus. But in the end, make sure the money's there in the first place, because you don't want to be there and be like, hey, the money was never there.
Right. Try not to take from any college
funds,
money,
yeah.
Because like even like no matter what they did, like it's still amazing to think that there's real like people in life that like made all these big money moves, and like the money was never there.
Yeah.
Like it's mind-boggling. Like
it's crazy.
That's why Joe Hunt's such a genius.
So invest into silver.
Yeah.
There
That's
you
the
go.
takeaway.
There you go. Oh, that's what we'll do, and then we'll give back 50% in
Makes
returns. Oh yeah. But
All right.
alrighty.
I think that's an episode.
What about you? What about you?
I don't know. Check out the movie. Sure. It's on Hulu, I think.
It is.
If you have
Yeah, yeah.
Hulu, it's free. It's
I
not
also
technically
watch it on
free,
Amazon
but
Prime.
it's also on Amazon Prime, allegedly.
You got it.
Ronnie, tell them your social media.
You can follow me at Ronnie_Rohrbeck on Instagram and on Facebook, and then on TikTok it's Ronnie Rohrbeck Comedy.
Ronnie Rohrbeck on it.
All those.
Comedy. Oh yeah.
We'll see you next time.
Bada bing, bada bing.
Big peace.